There has been a bunch of exciting announcements as it pertains to all things Tomb Raider. We have not just one, but two games on the horizon. We were graced with some really well done and beloved remasters for the classic core design games. And while I think there's still more games in Lara's past that deserve some more of the treatment of remasters from the likes of, say, the Legend Trilogy and even the portable games too, we currently do not have any news on that stuff. But we do have some stuff to talk about as it pertains to the live-action Tomb Raider TV show that's in the works at Amazon. It looks like it's definitely not cancelled right now. Amazon is moving forward, they have their showrunner and they have their Lara, and now we got a glimpse at her. Let's start off with this new Lara. So Sophie Turner is cast to play Lara Croft for the new TV show. The first official image of her was released, and there seems to be much division surrounding this, but for me personally, I think she looks pretty good. Again, I'm not saying that the show will be this knockout hit, the story's being compelling, a Lara that we can get behind, but as an image I honestly like the costume, and it was heavily trying to get those original vibes and looks. If anything, it gave me a bit more confidence in at least how Sophie looked as Lara. That all being said, I think this show is going to have two things that it's going to need to be able to do to really nail it, to really get that buy-in. Let's start out with the first one, Sophie Turner herself. She would not be my first pick. Honestly, if they were doing a live-action Lara, I would go with someone, say, like Hayley Atwell. Oddly enough, she is the voice actress in the Tomb Raider anime on Netflix, but based on what I've seen with that, they haven't really done a great job with really servicing the franchise nor the character, a poor use of the property, and sadly Hayley Atwell as well. When looking at notable stuff that Sophie Turner has been in, the big one was Game of Thrones. Now yes, the show crashed and burned hard in that god-awful last season, but when it was good, it was a very entertaining show. Sophie Turner was good in it, and I think as she grew up while on the show, so did her talents too. What also helped that image is that she was surrounded by some very talented and seasoned actors. For something like, say, Tomb Raider, that show really shouldn't be a big ensemble type of thing, as a huge focus should be on Lara Croft. Sophie Turner, in a way, would be expected to do a lot of the heavy lifting and even carry the show. Can Sophie Turner do this, or does she shine more in a secondary role and not at the center of attention? Recently, I had done a rewatch of most of the Fox X-Men movies. I love many of them, and as it relates to Sophie Turner, she was cast as Jean Grey towards the end of them. For their last film, Dark Phoenix, she was the big focus of that story and got a lot of screen time as a result of it. While that film is easily the worst of the X-Men movies, it had plenty of other problems too. I do think it was an example of how we might be concerned if Sophie can really carry a story and have all of that focused on her. Yes, the bad writing didn't help her in Dark Phoenix, but that combo of poor writing and then her performance needing to be much better to really get that required buy-in by the audience to help make those emotional moments land. I think the way those creatives were trying to do but still failed to accomplish there. I bring this up because Sophie was the center of that plot and story, as she will be for Tomb Raider too. Does she have the charisma, even that characteristic sass that Lara has, and then carry a story like that? Yeah, she seems to look the part, which is important, but can she become a version of Tomb Raider that is both compelling and interesting? This is where I still don't know where this is going to land in that way. I circle back to Sophie as a secondary character, and I think she is pretty good in that way. Prior to that last X-Men movie, Dark Phoenix, there was Apocalypse. She was not the focus, but she had her moments. Generally, I thought she was pretty good in that one. Overall, I found that movie to be kind of underrated, but when she was asked to be the main focus in that next film, Dark Phoenix, that is where I do not think that she was really able to accomplish that. But in fairness, the writing was horrible there, which is why pretty much everything in that movie sucked. My point with all of this is that I have not seen an example yet where she's really commanding that leading role. Maybe she has another movie or another project of hers that I haven't seen, but based on my viewing history with her, I still have a lot of concerns here. Another big one is that while yes, it's super important to get your casting of your lead as best as you can to really fit the character, for Sophie, I will need to see more of her in action to honestly really get a better judgment of all of that. Maybe she ends up proving me wrong, that would be great. But my other big worry for the show is Phoebe Waller-Bridge, because she's behind it, and my guess is that she'll be doing a bunch of the writing for its story. Really, my only interaction with her work is with her writing on No Time to Die, and then her co-starring in the last Indiana Jones movie. No Time to Die is the worst Bond film I have ever seen, and this is coming from someone who loved all of the films from Brosnan and back. No Time to Die had some really bad dialogue. Characters spoke not consistent to how they were in the other Craig-era films. Plenty of legacy characters are killed off in rather lackluster ways. Sure, some of the action is well done, but then when you have your story and character actions that are that bad, a cool set piece of action is really not going to save it all. From what I understand, Phoebe was brought in later on into production to really add to the dialogue of that film. I do not think she really helped that movie at all. And then with her involvement with Indiana Jones, well, that movie should have just not existed. And this is coming from someone who found many elements about the fourth movie that I enjoyed, but that fifth one was just disrespectful. So she has been connected to two previously established franchises and didn't really add positive elements to either of them. I have a lot of concern when it comes to her and if she's going to ruin Tomb Raider with character assassination and any of that stuff. There are arguments for different versions of Lara as a character, but Phoebe has the capacity to just hit another level of ruining it with her. I don't really have much faith with her involvement. Now, with all that being said, since we haven't really seen anything from the TV show, maybe, just maybe, the show manages to actually deliver. I would be very happy to make a video in the future where I talk about how wrong I was about my concerns, and they nail the show. We have this really faithful, fun action-adventure treasure hunting show, and then it's all discussion about how great it is and how we're looking forward to the second season. I want that to happen. You think that Amazon would work really hard to really do a great job at producing something worthy of the Tomb Raider legacy. See what the audience wants and then find a creative team that can deliver on just that. Amazon does have some crappy shows that they have, but they also have the likes of really fun entertainment like say Reacher and then The Terminal List. Maybe Tomb Raider will be another good one. We'll have to wait and see. What are your thoughts on Sophie Turner, her look as Lara? What about Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.